Hello buddy, welcome back to another episode of Just What I Am playing a Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did, we definitely did some stuff, didn't we? We fought off Ramu, or we faced his trial, and what else even happened? We learned some more about the Asians and about how they work, or how we presume to think that they work. And I think that's just about like the biggest things that happened. At least as far as I can remember. There was a food break in between and then all thoughts go away. Anyway, now we're gonna have some R&R. Look, it's Miss Lynn. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that there's some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Domin Adventures Guild to protect all the Domins. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Lynn? Maybe you could show us how you fought off the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonet, did you know that Miss Lynn is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Lynn. My companions and I but recently became full members of the Silence, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Domin younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. Auntie, we're just talking to Miss Lynn. We were just asking Miss Lynn if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you've certainly been vigilant with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mardona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Lynn? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hoary, I didn't know you... If I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Lynn? Would you consent to spar with me? Smile and nod. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Not try to disappoint them. Have faith, Coltonet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fiends to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Or the fields. The fiends. Well, the fiends too, probably. To Mardona. Yes. I don't know why I keep doing this. Well, I actually kind of know why. Because I really love that video of the Harry Potter thing from, what's it called again? Oni, I think? Where it's like, when God him love your soul. So good. Some grade A gourmet shit. Hello, Hoary Boulder. It was good of you to agree to this then. I trust you are ready to begin. You actually get to do an instance. Nani? That's pretty cool. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hoary, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Lynn you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, it was this hero's legend that led me to join the Science to begin with. Without Lynn to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? I don't know who's talking. Oh, it's Ada. Ada, what? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, there are still more to come. When I mentioned Lynn's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You had best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. It's interesting that I used to wear this dude's armor. Continent the Cultured. I like that name. Day and night, I hold my skills. Ready? Okay. Oh, such power. The tails barely do you justice. Mr. Bono won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Or one of the children, I think. I, the children, have the right of it. This time I join the fray. On your feet, Hori. Punch! Oh my god, I'm just beating this dude up. I must defeat. Must admit defeat. It was an honor and a privilege. Bye-bye. Oh no, he looks hurt. Miss Sin is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. What is this move? HP recovered by healing magic. Never I face the strength, but the lesson must continue. This is your example I follow. Surrender not to the implacable foe. Rip, mate. You have bested me. I yield. Punched his guts out. That was incredible. She beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Lyn. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Hello. Okay. Hello, people I've never seen before. Now I see why they sent you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. I love these random characters. That's pretty cool. I like that. And more cutscenes. Okay. Always impressive as always, Lyn. It is ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the heart-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Recall you when first we met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartuneau. At the time I was yet attempting to understand the stand of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reasons why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the efforts I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. But again, as a single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to his fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, often infuriating, stubborn people, that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for his inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own, whatever. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Of course, however, it is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threats and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Fly, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. Daddick McYeet is back. Back for more. Thank you for coming, Lynn. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Random material. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than we had hoped to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operations accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those to the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on a journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Lim Salaminta. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Quest accepted. Here. And before we do that, time to use another one of my Vesper Bay tickets and hope that your boy Remove Extreme is available. I would like to do it sooner rather than later, because I do not know how long it's going to take for us to gather a crew. And I can just take a boat over to Lim Salaminta over here anyway. Please have the quest be available. Son of a beach. In any case, I hope that the quest is over here. Is it maybe in Gridania? Let me go to Gridania and see if perhaps the remove quest is over here. I do not really know. I could look it up, but that would probably be what I'm gonna need to do. That's what it comes down to. Let me go and look this up for a second. Alright. F14, remove extreme. Striking tree extreme. You unlock it by judgment bolts and lightning, sorry. Where do I get this thing? It is indeed in New Gridania. Okay. Required quests. Okay, so I need to finish a certain quest before I can do that. Which is all fine and good. Now at least I know. However, I did use it, you know, all my Vesper Bay Youth Ride tickets, but no. Ah, there you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blissfwind. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, it is of no matter that they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting effort, meet me at the airship a ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Right, and now we need to go to the upper decks and recruit people. To the drowning wench. Where we can find some people and recruit them to our cause. This is Eorzea. On the 6th of June. So yeah, now we get to run all the way around in these very distant freaking areas. It's a pain. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, a proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Good old Carlavane. Or Carvalane. Myself and his new organization. Yes, I had heard the formation. I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. It is with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Lim's elements I must needs receive my full attention. Did we invite you to the party? No. Right, there is normally no. This is the aft castle. Balls. This is not the Bismarck. I keep thinking that this is the Bismarck, which is the restaurant up here. But no, this is the aft castle, which means that I get to run around even more. Yay! But who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sort of knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvalane's door. Well, joke's on you, I already did. I'm gonna start my inventory now that one hole has been freed. Angel heavens. Beef testosterone? Jesus. A precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company. While I do admire the scope of your ambitions, my responsibilities here at Naldic and Families keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Also, this has changed. Yeah, 120. When I should reduce damage taken by 20%. Grants earth reply upon taking damage, gradually restores HP. For 15 seconds, though. That's not bad, actually. I like that a lot more than the original Riddle of Earth. IMO. But also, you know, I haven't really played Monk in high level content, so not sure how useful it used to be. Patches are always so interesting. I'm gonna race it just to see what changes they make. Oh, I love it. Sometimes it can be very like confusing in general. Well, if it ain't Lynn, I'd not forget a venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchambers. You remember all real, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes, 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. Aye, it ain't often I drag my arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. I fair you these days. You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. Sounds like a right lark it does. Alright, lass, cut me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Nice. I like this guy. He is allowed to join. And now we need to go to the airship landing. I'll just pray, look for an Aetherite that I may use. If you're wondering, yes, we are going to go through all 3 main cities. Looking for people. For Alpha now. So yeah, that's fun. I was about to say, these poles aren't normally here. So yeah, I can just be in there. Okay. Okay. Airship landing. Get me over there. Lynn, your recruiting went well, I trust? I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interests. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seats here proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafaka's altar. Since it's Nafaka's altar, I'm just going to teleport to the main Aetherite instead of using the airship. Because there's no Aetherite like right next to the airship landing, so it would be a pain in the arse. My audience with the Elder Seats here is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Alright, here we freaking go. To the amphitheater. Of course they would have freaking people over there. Oh gods, can it really be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Huh? Could it be that you don't remember? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscarons. I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. What of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have naught more to do with me. This may be just the second chance I was looking for. Reverend Stoll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I am a changed man. It's interesting, now that I've actually paid attention to the dialogue, I actually know this character. That is actually really nice. I appreciate that. Let me do this because monk satisfaction. Also, now that I'm here, I should have more achievement tokens. More achievement points, whatever. Whatever. Then we have the ribbon. Do I even have a ribbon already? Search for item. No. The question is, do I like this ribbon? If I change the die, what's it gonna change? It's gonna change... That's interesting. It's gonna change the main little thing, kind of? There's a sort of fat chocobo head and a goblin cap. I'm gonna get this thing. Cascadier... To help you beat the heat that you might remain in the kitchen. There's a lot of minions that you can get. And there's also a lot of little well, there is the magic Deathclaw identification key, which is a mount, Behemoth Warhorn, and the Voidal Resonator. And then also, you know what, fuck, I'm just gonna get these. Wind Up Cursor, Black Chocobo Chick, Minion of Light, Wind Up Leader, Wind Up Odin, Wind Up Warrior of Light, Wind Up Goblin, Wind Up Gilgamesh, Wind Up Nanamo, and Wind Up Furion. That's basically, you know, I'm also going to get this because why not? Why in the hell not? Time to use all of these items, my friends. This is definitely not going to take way too long. Also, now you can see the amount of money you have while entering your inventory. That's another thing that wasn't a thing before. Give me a second. We're almost there, friends. So this is going to give us the Ahriman mount. This is going to give us the Behemoth mount. And this is going to give us the Magitech Deathclaw mount. There we go. That's basically everything that I would care about from that particular merchant. Grandfather, we must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest your tormented back. Rest ere your tormented back gives up for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, Lynn, is it? Isn't it? It has been some time since our paths crossed outside of Copperbell Mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look how far you've come. Mother Miyun tells me it was you who felt that the fearsome black wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companions here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I have seen Isildur safely home. Wow. Fridania is a lot more successful than Lim Zolaminza. Although I think I know which person I'm going to talk to right now, and I don't think he's going to join us. Ursendel. The man who is forever tormented by everything. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions? I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Yeah, that was fucked up. Hawk Manor was pretty fucked up. Which is interesting, because I didn't really know that before I did this playthrough and started properly reading everything. Some people may call me fucking... Some people may call me a lot of things for not really paying that much attention to the story, but like... Can you blame me, really? It's a lot of like blocks of text, like one after the other. Just kind of happens. It's not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. Right, and then we go to the airship landing place. I love the fact that you can just teleport there now. So nice. What news then? For my part, the elder seat here was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavour to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. The Royal Promenade. This is a duty. Let's go and just take the airship. Because I think it's going to be a little bit easier reaching the Royal Promenade. Ruby Road Exchange? No, Hastings Strip. That's where we need to be. Yeah, this brings me... Well... I was hoping it would bring me a little bit closer to the Royal Promenade, but whatever. Ul'dah, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Lynn. Let's see. It would seem that we need to be at that side. Let us begin at the Gladiators Guild. It would seem like a pretty good place to recruit people. Wilfred. Wait, you're the lady who came to Little Amigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Anyway, that disaster really got me thinking about our homeland and about the outsiders who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions. And you say it will take me to all corners of the realm. That sounds exactly the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripeling you met in Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I know is out there. Look at all these people. Look at all those chickens. No, they're not chickens. They are courageous human beings. Bitter snow. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I am Urson, of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on Drybone's less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, this new companion to seek, then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. No, let me just go and walk this way. Walk this way and get some people. Deep breath. Catch my breath a little bit. Yellow moon, really? I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashioned manner of proposition thing to a lady? Well, I'm afraid you are wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. Yellow moon is an individual. Sent God, of all the people. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. I even ask them. You know these people, Lynn. Oh, you'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Back to the Royal Promenade. How fared you, Lynn? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In his troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Lynn. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sodana also graced my trial company with her blessing. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the document signed and the finances secured. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement. As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for United Eorzea. I was burping in the middle of that. Okay. Airship cutscene, question mark? Oh, I see.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Meanwhile, I like how Alfino took an airship and I'm just still standing here. Well, all of that happened, I'm just here. Standing here, I realize that I probably should have taken an airship. Actually, no. Teleporting here is much more convenient because there's no airship place over here. Man, I really thought I would do Rabu in this episode. Ramu Extreme, but I'm not sure, actually. I love how I said last episode, yeah, probably gonna do Ramu later in this episode, and then it's like, nope. That is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The combination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparation for the inaugural ceremony, Jesus. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, then. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Heretical harassment. Greetings, then. Alfino tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Totaro is cooperating with Elfino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Staffborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Slaffborn. What can I do for you, Lynn? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Huh, I barely noticed your recruits arrived. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, it is more your burden that concerns me. I'm told the Twilight Company will answer directly to the antecedents, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Staffborn, the shipment! We couldn't! I don't know who's talking, but... Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may be heretics. They were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House for Tom. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Lynn, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House for Taunt? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Daha. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Horsefont will be glad of your assistance. Okay. Camp Dragonhead. In the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball. Let me go and get my randomized man thing. Ariman. Amon! Ariman! I've made that joke so many times, and I will continue to make it. Well, well, if it isn't my fine friend, Linda there. Would you care for a plate of roast caracal? Some mulled wine? No. Ah, I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Forton does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, We have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
Nod.
Hallone's blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long.
Nod.
Should
No?
you learn aught of
Thank you.
value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Brofond strikes again. Time to use our flying behemoth. As you sit on our throne. Perfectly placed on the enemy's ass. Well, like on the creature's ass. On his buttocks. It seems like surprisingly comfortable, honestly. Right. I guess it's supposed to be in this tower. Excuse me, behemoth coming through. Definitely not a scary sight. Hey, it's Drillmon. Lynn, welcome, welcome. You'll be pleased to know that the repairs to Stone Vigil proceed apace. We shall rebuild sure and strong. The Dravanians might batter themselves senseless against our shield in the west. I would venture, however, that matters of masonry are not what brought you to Whitebrim. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the fury. But you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess then, it is a sad truth that the wilds hereabout have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us, the heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in a grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhap you would care to question one of their recent victims? As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on a road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small details that could aid you in your task. This is the jail. I need to be over here. Where exactly though? Probably upstairs. Tell you what happened? Why yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. It was then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words "return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Now, my friends, if you remember, Snowcloak is a name that should sound relatively familiar. Because I ran into a certain difficulty regarding a place called Snowcloak. At some point. Oh no. Surrender the crystals. Bonk. That all? Really? Wow. Pathetic. That freaking thing. Gah, draw your weapon, Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You are come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol and we chanced to cross one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished, like icy wraiths. Nice cutscene, bro. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? Heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best were we to return to Whiteburn front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. And back we go, baby. These things are so weird. These Ariamons. Lynn, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their reports. The men you found out near Circloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may very well be, which may well be the very lair of our enemy. Jesus. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Horsefawn of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. This quest is taking a lot longer than I expected. But I'm still gonna finish this quest before we move on. Like, before I end up the episode.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Nod. Happy nod. Back to Raven and stuff. Oh my god. Lynn, it's good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen waste of Curtis? As for Tom's, is to send us a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Harshfarm for his continued generosity. Yet, even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinaur's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. And now we can start getting this gear. Oh, it does have a thing without the mask. Intriguing, although it still looks very weird. What in God's name is this? What an idiotic name is this? And with that, my friends, I think it is time to end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of just us playing a Final Fantasy XIV, and next episode we're going to go and deal with even more MSQ. And actually remove Extreme, because this quest is the quest that I need before I can unlock it. Goodbye.